It was such an exciting month for our Shopify print-on-demand store as we had a record amount of sales, doing over $150,000 in 30 days. And in this video, you're going to discover exactly what products we're selling, how we choose the niche that we ended up in, some new ad strategies that have been working really well for us. And be sure to stick around to the very end of the video when I'm going to break down all of our expenses and show you how much money we actually take home at the end of the day. And to quickly get you caught up to speed if you're new to the channel, my name's Chris Heckman, and this is the Print On Demand Challenge series where we're growing a print on demand Shopify business completely from scratch to 7 figures out in the open for everybody to see and to be able to follow along with us and build your own brand. The way that we're doing this is by selling nothing but t-shirts and with very little money, if any, to get started. And while everyone else is teaching how to do print on demand through Etsy and Amazon and all the super crowded marketplaces, we're going in the opposite direction and building our own Shopify brands. That way we own all of our own traffic, we're building email lists, and we're building a real brand that we can ultimately sell for hopefully a pretty life-changing amount of money further on down the line. So comment down below if that's a goal of yours so I can make more videos on that topic. And while you're at it, be sure to like and subscribe so that I know that this series has been valuable to you and I keep making more videos like this. Without further ado, let's jump into the numbers. In our Shopify dashboard, I'm going to first refresh so that everybody knows these numbers are legit. Nothing here is made up. We're actually doing the sales along with you. And to recap where we are in the series, we started this challenge on July 1st of 23. And in that month, we did a modest $31,000 in sales. Then August, we almost doubled our sales to just under $54,000. Then September, we had our first 6-figure month, which was pretty exciting, doing just over $100,000 in sales. And then October, we did $141,855 in sales through our Shopify store. And then this last month in November, we did $151,445.33 in sales. In the beginning of the month, we started off a little rocky. We're doing about 5K to 3K per day, and it varied a lot. There wasn't a whole lot of consistency at the beginning of the month, and things were looking like we were going to actually underperform compared to the previous month. Each day as we go along, about 4 to 5K, like pretty stagnant from the month before. Then luckily we had Black Friday that came in and saved things. Once Black Friday hit, our sales skyrocketed up to $8,000, 100% increase from the day before, and things have continued to be pretty strong even afterwards. As for our advertising, last month we spent just under $50,000 on Facebook ads. I've talked about the strategies that we're using in these campaigns in detail in some of the other trainings. So if you want to learn how to do this in detail, go ahead and watch one of those. But for now, just know that this is pretty much the same strategy that we've been running, with the exception of our Black Friday ads, which I'm going to show in just a second. Then on our Google ads last month, we spent another $1,850. But our return on these ads was really high as it brought in $8,000, which is over 4x return on our ad spend. And some important stats to be aware of are that our average order value was $43.76, meaning that the average person was buying about 1.7 shirts because we sell our shirts for $26.99. And then our shipping cost is just under $5. We have our free shipping threshold set to $75, so we're incentivizing people to buy up to 3 shirts in order to get free shipping, but the average is about 1.5 to 1.75 shirts. Our conversion rate was just under 3%, which is up 15% from the previous month. We had 3,145 orders, which is up 8% from the previous month. And something interesting to notice is that the percent increase in our sales, it's normally the total order percentage plus the average order value percentage is roughly ends up being the total increase. Because you think about it, if you just had 5% more orders and your average order value was exactly the same, then you would expect your total sales would just go up by 5%. But if you have more sales and the average sale is worth more, then typically you just can add those percentages together and that gives you your percent increase. Our time to fulfill has jumped up substantially, but we can pretty much ignore this because it's only because of the shipping insurance that's supposed to be marked auto-fulfilled, but it hasn't for some reason. But that's been another nice like 95 cent to $1.95 bump on about 70% of our orders. So now we're caught up on our sales. I'm going to show our Printify expense, which is by far our biggest expense for this period, at the end of the video. But first, let's take a look at what our Black Friday and Cyber Monday marketing strategy looked like. When it comes to Black Friday or any marketing season or discount event for that matter, it really breaks down into a couple of main categories that we want to be promoting these deals and offers to our audience. Number one is in our ads, so through Facebook and Google. Number two is through our email and SMS marketing list. Then number three is the changes that we make on our website. And then four is through just organically posting on our social media accounts. So first off, to show you an example of the type of ads that we run during Black Friday, here's one of them that has performed extremely well for us in the past that you can literally copy paste for next year or for any future sales that you're running. Maybe like Valentine's Day, you can do a pink color variation. And here's the exact ad that worked well for us this Black Friday. As you can see, it's extremely simple, just a black block of text. I actually came up with the idea from Fire Festival, if you remember that from years ago, how they just did like an orange block and it just grabbed people's attention. Because I found that during Black Friday, people are just in a buying mindset. So anything you can do to get them to stop and look at your sale is normally going to result in a lot of conversions. So it's just a black text, and at the top here, I blurred out the brand logo and name. And this first block here is what your niche is. So if it was yoga, you would say yoga Black Friday sale, and then shop up to 30% off while supplies last. Shop, and then your URL. And at the top here, we just have the logo, and at the bottom, you have the niche and t-shirts. And it just says in big white font, Black Friday sale, the URL, 30% off everything, next 24 hours only. And a couple of key things here is we have a very clear discount amount that people are able to click and they know exactly how much they're going to be saving. And then we have urgency here. So we have next 24 hours only. And that's key because we want people, especially during the holiday season, we want them to not just see the sale and then think, oh, okay, I'll come back to that later. We want to get people that are going to click and know that they have to buy right now. That's why one of the changes that we make that's very simple and effective is we add a countdown timer to the top of our banner so that when people click on our website, they see the Black Friday sale, the percentage off, and then they see that they only have X number of hours remaining. That typically gets people to take action a lot quicker than they would otherwise. And so that ad that we just looked at, driven to a page that has a countdown timer, typically performs really well. And for example, here are the stats that we had on this exact campaign with just one ad last Black Friday on a print-on-demand t-shirt store. As you can see, it spent $915 at a 4.5 ROAS. Typically, we're satisfied with anywhere from like a 2.5 to a 2.7, so this far outperformed the rest of our ads. The next part of our Black Friday strategy was we were sending email campaigns to our entire customer list. These emails were typically doing anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 in sales, and as I've talked about in previous videos, they cost us next to nothing to send, so it's basically free money. Our email list right now is about 40,000 customers, and we typically get an open rate of anywhere from 30 to 50%. As you can see, some of the stats here, typically get a click rate of anywhere from 1 to 2%, and the emails on average were generating a pretty decent amount of revenue that adds a nice bump to our overall sales. To be more specific, the bump is 18.5% of our overall sales for last month, bringing in $28,337. And since our only expense on this is our cost of goods, this is at about 60% margin, or around $15,000 in pure profit just from our email list. That's the value of building an email list and building a real brand rather than Etsy or Amazon, where you don't get any of this. You don't get these kind of recurring sales. You don't get the ability to just click a button and send an email and basically print money. That's why I'm so in favor of Shopify brands over Etsy and Amazon, is we're building like a real asset here. Let me know in the comment section if you'd like to see a detailed training on the strategy behind those campaigns, because we could go a whole 2 hours on just that alone. Like, I can show you the emails, what the flows look like, so let me know if you're interested in that. I'm planning on doing one of those here soon. It just takes a lot of time to put together those in-depth trainings. But let me know in the comment section if you'd be interested. And last but not least, after all said and done, the sales, the marketing strategies, let's get down to the most important thing, which is how much money did we actually take home at the end of the day? Obviously, there's a lot of expenses here. Like we already talked about, the $49,140.51 that we spent on Facebook ads, the other $1,850 on Google ads. Then we had an additional $5,951 on our transaction fees. These were from PayPal and Shopify for just processing our orders. And our biggest fee of all was our Printify fee, as always, which was a whopping $70,546. Luckily, we had a couple of boosts to our income, which was, number one, our volume discount for Printify, which was $2,488 for November. And then we had our Capital One 2% cash back, which was $1,264. And last but not least, our overhead expenses were about $3,000. That's all of our software, the team, all the little odds and ends that it takes to run the business. So deducting that brings us to a grand total profit for the month of $26,952.82. That is a net margin of 17.5%, which is pretty good. Our goal is to be in the 20 to 25% range moving forward, but overall, can't really complain. That puts us on a annual run rate of $324,000 in profit. Our goal is to get this business to be doing about $100,000 profit per month. So we're about a quarter of the way there for that goal, but we're just getting started. So be sure to stay tuned for future episodes. We plan on continuing to run this and show everything that it takes to scale, not just to 5, 10, 15 grand per month in profit, but hopefully upwards to 100 grand in net profit per month. So it's going to be a wild ride. Let me know in the comment section down below what questions you guys have. If this is helpful to you and where you're at in your own business, I'm more than happy to help. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.